Hi everyone, just wanted to share a few thoughts on plyometrics and the impact of that on running performance. I get a lot of questions in terms of should an elite or a recreational runner do plyometrics, and the answer to that is absolutely yes. If we break running down, we have to think about running being obviously a series of steps and very much a plyometric type activity. So if we're looking at the contact time, if we took an elite runner, then you're probably sort of talking around 0.3 of a second or 300 milliseconds in contact time with the ground. Obviously an elite sprinter is closer to about 0.1 of a second. If you took a recreational runner, then maybe closer to about 0.4 of a second. So if you think about it, they've only got a relatively short period of time in which to express force through the ground to obviously create horizontal and vertical lift if you're thinking about the biomechanics of it. But just taking that back a step, in terms of if you look at the volume or the mileage that the runner would do. Let's take somebody who's a fairly serious runner. Let's suggest they do 100k a week, about 62 miles. Maybe they've got an average stride length of 2 meters. What you've then therefore got is about 50,000 contacts per leg per week. So if you think about those cumulative contacts, that's a lot of strength that they need in terms of both eccentrically, concentrically, and to be able to have that elastic or reactive strength off the ground, to be more efficient when they run, to use more of the elastic properties within their tendons, and then therefore potentially create less fatigue. Certainly if you look at some of the research of Wayand will talk about, it's not necessarily the magnitude of the force that the athlete or the runner expresses, it's the ability to express that force in the most efficient way, which is why we hear a lot about running efficiency and running economy. So somebody could have a huge VO2 max or maximum oxygen uptake, but if they don't have much strength and let's suggest they have poor technique or poor biomechanics, they're not going to be as efficient as they should be, obviously, and most importantly, it's probably going to lead to injury. So from a plyometric standpoint, I think we accept that runners need to do it. So we could be talking about somebody doing, basic double foot jumps, broad jumps, pogo jumps, possibly depth jumps off a small box, reacting back up, then progressing to things like hops and bounds. Bounds are sometimes synonymous with triple jumpers, but I would, if possible, try and expose a runner to them, probably on a grass surface ideally, or even on a sprung floor. Sometimes harder athletic surfaces can cause an issue with the impact around shins and ankles, potentially the lower back. So the other question that often crops up with a lot of my presentations and with individuals is around contacts. The simple answer to that is at a basic level, as a beginner, then you're talking around 60 to 80 contacts. However, the caveat to that is you're always looking at quality over quantity. So if you're looking at an athlete and they're deteriorating after 40 contacts, I would chop and cut the session at 40 contacts, maybe find something different to do, maybe some med ball throws at that point, or some other form of trunk type work, or just give them a complete rest, as opposed to just saying, well, the program says 60 to 80, therefore we'll do that. Again, once we take the athlete or the individual into too much fatigue, there's the potential for injury. On the point of injury, a lot of runners come to me from the perspective of various musculoskeletal problems, and they need a rehabilitation or return to sport program. And importantly, we've got to structure that in the right way to get them back to coping with their mileage, or with their tempo runs, or with their hills and their speed sessions. However, we need to look at the quality of how they do the plyos, but importantly how they're moving, both bilaterally on two legs and in a single leg context or unilateral, because there could be some movement issues or some technical issues which are leading to an injury. And on the point of technique, sometimes, and I've spent many years in athletics and other sports, is that lots of people are doing drills. Now, drills have their place, but a drill is not necessarily an opportunity to coach the whole action. So we mustn't look at drills as being the only fix. We must look at the broader physical preparation and performance program, and running technical execution to lead to faster times, a better outcome, and hopefully reduce the chance of injury. But that's it. Bye for now.